It's so hard. Why would I vote for James Tallarico, a white man, when I live in Harris County and we are the highest county for black maternal death rate?
The fact that you think you need a black woman as a senator to deal with the black maternal death rate. You know why black women have poor outcomes when it comes to childbirth? Do you really want me to tell you the answer? And if you say you're ready, are you ready to deal with the answer and to sit with what you need to do to get to a solution? Because I can tell you the reason why our maternal mortality rates are high. You ain't gonna like it. And I can guarantee you, y'all ain't gonna do nothing about it. That's why it continues to be a problem, because it wasn't always this way. But the truth of the matter is, our mortality, our mortality rates are high when it comes to giving birth. Has a lot to do with the fact that when we go in to give birth, our weights is out of control. We are so morbidly obese that our own bodies are rejecting the fact that you are in no position to carry a baby full term to the end of gestation. And then the wear and tear on your heart with the high blood pressure, the gestational diabetes, all of it is tied to your pre-pregnancy weight. When are we going to be honest and have a discussion about the fact that our pre-pregnancy weight is unhealthy? I see young girls, 15, 16, 18 years old, well before they're thinking about giving birth, morbidly obese. I'm talking about these chicks are so daggone thick. They are well over 200 pounds at 14 years old. You really want to sit here and look me in the eye and tell me that that's normal? To tell me that, wait a minute, we need to get a handle on our girls to figure out, are they not active enough? Why are they consuming so many calories at that age? I have a set of twin girls. So hear me clearly. I am uniquely equipped to talk about this because I am somebody's mama. I've birthed 4 children. I didn't have some sort of adverse maternal outcome because I understood that to give birth, to bring life into this world, that I needed to be in the best shape of my life. I needed to be at a healthy weight. I needed to watch my calorie intake. I needed to be active. Like, bringing life into the world is a serious thing. And because I have 2 girls, do you really think I'd let them sit here and let their weight balloon out of control so that by the time they're 25 or 23 years old and they want to have a baby, I'm setting them up for failure if I allow them at the age of 14 or 15 years old to be 200 pounds? Haley and Hannah, one of them is what, 98 pounds, and the other one, she might be 92. They are thin because I don't let them sit and eat processed food. We make sure you need to get out there and be active. And we cook at home. I've raised them in a very traditionally, and what some might say a more conservative way, because instead of being out in the street, chasing the career and abandoning and neglecting my children's health, I prioritized their food, what they eat, how portion control. Do they eat a bunch of junk food or are they eating more whole foods? If it took more time for me to cook the meal from scratch versus throwing it in the microwave, guess which one I chose? What does this have to do with Jasmine Crockett? This video actually has nothing to do with Jasmine Crockett. This video has everything to do with me issuing a clarion call to our own women to say your race is not the problem, but your worldview, the way you live your life out of order, and it's not in alignment with what God's best is for you, is why you are experiencing adverse outcomes, even when it comes to childbirth. We can have a conversation about election night and while you're so sad about this, but I can guarantee you, conservative women are overwhelmingly more joyful and happier than liberal women because we understand how to live in God's created order, meaning God created me to be a woman, to be a helpmeet, to nurture, to love, to assist, not to lead, not to be in control, not to usurp authority over men, not to try to run the man that I think is my man by telling him what he need to do and how he need to do it. No. You live in God's created order, which means, sis, you got to fall back. Our shoulders are narrow and petite because they were not built to carry on the burden that God uniquely designed men to carry. You want to be in charge in the boardroom and in the bedroom. You got to pick a struggle. And it is obvious the struggle you have chosen has led to your misery. Look at this woman. She is sitting in her car crying over Jasmine Crockett losing because she believes if Jasmine would win, if Jasmine would have won, that the pregnancy mortality income outcomes would have been more favorable because a Black woman who has no children and no spouse would have known how to legislate and advocate for Black women on their behalf. Do you see the warped worldview and the mindset and the thinking? We've already received through the Department of Health and Human Services with Bobby Kennedy. He has addressed the fact that our food supply, our food choices, there's so much wrong with it that if we fix that, the mortality outcomes would improve across all ethnicities. But Black women in particular are experiencing adverse health outcomes, not because we're Black and got bad genes, but because we are already starting from an unhealthy place because y'all ain't gonna like this. We would rather spend more time on weaves, wigs, and lashes than evaluating our health choices, controlling what we can control with a knife and a fork. Like you can't control your genes, but you can dig yourself a grave with your own knife and fork. You can kill yourself by your own choices. But see, that would require y'all to do something y'all don't like to do, which is accept personal responsibility for the choices that you can make. Only you can control what you can control and leave the rest up to God. And I understand most of my audience that's Black and female are going to resist this messaging. You're gonna want to cancel me and say not only is she anti-Black, but now she's anti-woman because she had the nerve to tell us that we're too heavy and we're too big and we need to lose weight and we need to do, yes, because our men have been telling us for a long time and you don't want to listen to them. So I figured I would tell you. So now I'm doing it. These are the excuses that are being presented as to why Black women are not further along or where they think they should be. When at the end of the day, you've got to self-reflect on your own self to determine, what am I doing to contribute to these adverse outcomes? Am I living out of order, out of alignment with God's will for my life? That would be it. Y'all don't want to sit down and be taught. You want to be in charge of everything because you believe you deserve it because you've achieved a degree and a certification and some accolades without realizing that those are not the things that make us valuable. They're just not. And the fact that we've chosen to murder our babies and not be mothers and not be wives is one reason why we're so sad and miserable and why we're so deceived to think that someone like a Jasmine Crockett, with the type of character that she has displayed, is the type of woman that needs to represent us and that she is the solution to our problems versus us looking in the mirror saying, you know what? Jasmine can't even fix what's wrong with us. need to fix what's wrong with us. It's me. I had to realize in my early 40s, when I started looking at myself on camera and like, why is my face so chubby? Why I just look puffy? Never had a weight problem a day in my life. And now all of a sudden, my face is just puffy and the weight is coming bigger and bigger and bigger. And because nobody said anything, I thought I was fine. But I have two eyes to see, and I was willing to examine myself and self-reflect and be like, self, you ain't never been that big. What are you going to do about it? And was it easy? Absolutely not. I love French fries. I love Ruffles jalapeno ranch chips with a side of cream cheese. I love cheesecake. But I had to decide, is the cheesecake and the Ruffles chips and the French fries, is it worth it? The temporary satisfying feeling that I would get from eating those foods. Was it enough for me to say, I'll take an extra 25 pounds on a 5'2" frame? After evaluating it, I realized the answer was no. So I had to get a handle on my weight. It's not easy, but it was worth it. Because I don't want an enlarged heart. I don't want to die of heart disease. I darn near sure don't want to be a type 2 diabetic. So I had to deal with what was the thing that was preventing me from losing this weight. Yes, some of it was hormonal, but some of it was a lack of self-control. And that's the part that y'all don't want to hear. So